Hey, you, listen up. No joke. Do you want to allow this planet to go to hell or not? No? Good. Watch the video, and then help us so we can fix it.
Alright, I got all kinds of excuses to screw this up. Most of all is I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to probably make a ton of mistakes historically, scientifically, you name it. But here we go. Here's my version of the story. Here's a guy called Paul. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Turn of the century guy. And another guy, Graham. Hans Christian Graham, that one I got. Now what did these guys do? What they did, in my uneducated opinion, I just heard this somewhere, I don't know where, and I can't find it, so it's probably wrong. But here we go. What they did is they put pond water and stuff under a microscope when the microscopes first came out. And they saw stuff moving around down there, but they couldn't figure out what it was. And what they did that was brilliant is they did a couple of steps that, in my opinion, were brilliant, although, like I said, I'm probably getting this all wrong. They decided to add dyes to the water so they could kind of distinguish what was down there in their microscope. And that was the first step, is they used some dyes and they could kind of see something going on down there. Let's say they did this and they could see something going on. And then the second step is they got really fancy and they started using fancier dyes to actually distinguish different parts of these things down there. For example, the nucleus, the fat cells, the membranes, what have you, is they started really refining their technique in terms of finding out what's going on in their microscopes. So that was a great step. And then, here I go, probably wrong about this, but I'm going to say it anyways because it fits my story, is they found out that if you could target, let's say, these, whatever they are, parts of the cell with the dyes, then you could add something into that dye that would affect that part of the cell. So you could either strengthen it or weaken it simply because you have the dye that's entering that part of the unknown. This guy. So the dyes mean everything. Without the dyes, you couldn't find out what's going on. Now I'm going to go really out on the silliest limb possible. I'm going to say this is the beginning of them understanding all kinds of stuff. It kind of talks about what they were doing, and they were on the forefront of finding vaccines and understanding bacteria and disease. And because they have the dyes, they could put in, who knows, steroids or something to cripple it, something to make them stronger or make them weaker, depending on what the effect they wanted to have was. And it's all because of the dyes, and it's called staining. So they're staining the microbes, and with the stains, various stains are also changing the microbes, affecting the microbes. What have you, killing them, feeding them, I don't know. So that's my take on this microbe staining. All right? I am so sorry if I got that entirely wrong, but it's a really good story. I'm going to stick to it until one of you explains to me the truth. I know that there a lot of other people were finding vaccines and finding cures without putting this thing under a microscope. Okay, they would just magically avoid this step and going to the next step, which is fixing people and fixing and killing whatever the problem is. But it's not nothing. They were doing something interesting to learn and to affect these little guys, these microbes. Why is that important? That is important because of the most important thing I've ever done. All right, let's go right here. Here is our temperature from the year 0 on. And I really don't want to hear from naysayers. Just spare me. This is exactly what's been going on, is a lowering of the temperature. That was expected. We're supposed to be entering in a cooling stage. That's where we're heading right now. That's what all the models predict, is the planet's supposed to be cooling. And then around this time, no such deal. Okay, obviously that's not cooling. All right, that's doing something else. And I mean, I'm going to go on and on. You got to hear this. Here's our temperatures over the last little while. Here's what we're doing, everybody. You don't believe me? Wait, am I ahead of myself here? Look at this one. Here we go. Here's just this year. This is what we're doing this year. All right? We're at the head of the hottest you get. And look at this. We are going to just shoot through the roof. Break every record. Okay? That's where we're going nowadays. We're going to start breaking records. And like they said, these are nothing to be proud of. This is not something that we should pat ourselves on the back for. We are seriously going into the unknown here. Let's see what else I could bring up. Here's my next one. You don't believe me? Take a lungful of air. This is Canada, everybody. This is where I live. It's on fire. Okay? I don't know if I'm not wrong about this. These are not small fires, and these are not fires that anybody lives near. These are fires that are going to burn and burn and burn and burn. And then next year, who knows? It's going to, maybe this fall, burn some more. The house is on fire, okay? The planet we're just on fire, is what's going on. All these things that we're looking at say the same thing. This fire, 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 lots and lots and lots of fire. All right, that's what we're doing. Here is how much area we burned this year in Canada. Okay? No one tell me this is normal. I've never seen this. Okay, I'm an old fart too. I've never seen this. This is not being an issue. We are just burning as much forest as we can. All right? Not even, what are we here in July? So, there's this, one last one. Okay, now here's what I want to show you. Here's the important part. Here's what I'm getting. Here's why I brought up microbes. People were suffering. They were getting pneumonia. They were getting, I don't know, all kinds of bacterial infections. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the cures are. I could easily look them up. They're all over the place here. And this staining fixed a lot of diseases. All right? You don't believe me? Go take a trip into the medieval days and see how much luck you have. There was a lot of fixing that went on because they started staining bacteria. Here's our problem, everybody. It is not volcanoes. It is not meteors or asteroids or solar flares. We are supposed to be, like I said, in a cooling trend. So what's causing it? Not the planet and not outer space. Here's what's causing it. Right here. All right? This is our carbon dioxide, CO2. CO2 stands for electricity and moving things around. All right? When something's got to move, we're going to burn CO2. When we need electricity, we're going to burn CO2. All this stuff about windmills, about electric cars, about these treaties that that the politicians will shake hands in front of a camera like they're doing something. There is zero effect on our carbon dioxide. If you don't believe me, just walk down any street you care to walk down. You'll see cars. All right? And you'll see buildings, and you'll see electricity, and you'll see all kinds of use of CO2. That's what we're doing. And don't believe any of these guys. This is just a crock. Don't believe your LinkedIn. Don't believe it. There's something going on where we are just burning, 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 burning. No slowing down. There is no... Here's another one. Little fancier. Here's all the different things that are going on trying to slow us down. That's a handshake situation. Here's a handshake situation. Here's a handshake situation. All these are handshake. Politicians grinning for the camera. Techies grinning. LinkedIn grinning. Everybody's saying, don't worry. It's going to be okay. So we have a disease. All right? There is a disease going through us that's killing our planet. All right? I don't have the page up here. If you don't believe me, hot oceans, rising oceans mean like level 6, level 7 hurricanes. All right? It means who's going to live on the coast when you get blown away by a level 6, level 7 hurricane every now and then. It means everything on fire. It means no glaciers. That includes Antarctica. It means positive loops. It means the end of the planet, people. It really means a lot. And we are just not doing any kind of job controlling this. All right? Anybody tells you we're doing a good job, they're just full of it. This is what we're doing. That's all we're doing right now. What's going on? What's going on is we just have all the wrong biases. All right? There's something in our brain that lets us get this thing to rise and rise and rise and not do anything about it. All right? The decisions we make are based on these biases, and these biases are not good. Whatever they are, our brains are not going to tell them. They just get pulverized as soon as they finish the decision. You can watch my other videos. But these biases are really stinkers. Okay? They're stinky little biases. We got all of us, every one of us in our heads that allow us to just let this thing go up, kill a planet. How are we ever going to fix anything if we can't fix these biases? I could go through a list. Bias, I mean, in my own head, bias is someone else is going to fix it. God's going to fix it. I'll fix it tomorrow. Nothing I could do. Maybe, who knows? I have a hard time. There's just so many bad justifications for all this stuff we do. Okay, I'll do it like the best. I'll do it tomorrow. Whatever. Who cares? How are we going to fix our biases? We have to stain our biases. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I just got to the point of all my story. We have to stain what's going on in our heads that make us do these decisions that are destroying our planet. We have to stain the biases. Guess what? Here's a patent. Here's a good patent. Here's our biases that you could play with. Right here. Patented. Biases. Here's what a bias looks like. It's like saying some things are more important than other things. I like some things more than others. I like tomorrow more than today. I like today more than tomorrow. What have you? That's what a bias looks like. Here's what I feel about the different possibilities. Here's what I feel about the different possibilities. My patent is staining biases, everybody. That's what I'm doing. I'm staining these biases. This is how we make decisions. You can look at Here's one where I go nuts. Here's where you could just, and here's where I'm not only staining the biases so you can see what decisions, what possibilities you should do. Here's my pitch deck trying to raise money for this stuff. Here's what it looks like, the most simplified version. All right, you're just going to say, I like these guys, I don't like those guys, I like this guy, these guys, whatever. And it's going to show you the best choices that's available to you. For example, what kind of car you should buy that's going to save the planet, where you should work that's going to, all these things, it's going to show you how to save the planet. You put here what you feel about your footprint, what you feel about your whatever diet, what you feel about your predictions. Politicians could use this to save the planet. These are biases. These are staining biases. That's what I do, staining biases. And then the second patent is all about, if we're staining biases, then we can feed it back into machine learning and get a computer to help us. So here's, now we're actually changing our biases. We're saying we're going to try this bias one day and this bias another day. All right, the computer's going to say, try this bias and then try those biases. Here's the results you're going to get. You're going to get this, you're going to get that, you're going to get the other. Staining biases, everybody. That's what we need to do. If not, we're really screwed, and we're only ourselves to blame. And I'm talking, whoever's listening, you're to blame. I need help on this. I'm doing all I can. It's Friday night. I'm not with my family. I'm sitting here working. If you're listening to this and you understand it, step up. Even if it does go up, even if we're going to enter this whatever hurricanes, droughts, jellyfish, whatever we're going to get into, we have to start staining our biases. That's the point. And you got to help me. Don't sit here and laugh at me and think that it's a big joke. You got to help me. All right. Thank you so much.